Education Manager for FICP, I would like to welcome you to today's 2013 FICP Annual Conference First-Time Attendee Orientation. Today's presenters are 2013 Annual Conference Chair Colleen Roach and FICP Hospitality Partner Advisory Council Chair Bob Beach. This next slide shows just a couple tips for using the GoToWebinar tool. You can minimize your navigation bar by clicking the top arrow button indicated here. Please feel free to submit questions throughout the event via the question and answer box on your webinar toolbar throughout the event, but we'll answer the questions at the end of the presentation. Today we'll be covering an overview of FICP and the benefits of membership, and then discussing the annual conference experience. Now I'll be turning things over to Colleen Roach to kick things off.
Great. Thank you very much, Lydia. Again, my name is Colleen Roach. I am the Director of Meetings and Conference Management with Securian Financial Group in St. Paul, Minnesota. I've been actively involved with FICP since 2003, and so like all of you on the phone today, I have been a first-timer, and I remember that experience very, very, very well. As if it just happened yesterday. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to participate in this call. I think it's really important to share some information with you about FICP in general and the annual conference coming up in Boston. I'm sure most of you are aware that FICP is made up of meeting planners from the financial and insurance sector of the business industry, which sets us apart from other associations like MPI, where they have a pretty broad scope of planners involved. We're pretty narrow in our market, which allows us to be really, really, really focused on the tools and resources and skill sets that we try to provide our planners and our hospitality partners that are specific to this market. We've been around for quite a long time, and we actually have our roots based in Canada. So if any of you are wondering why we have such a strong Canadian contingency on the planner side, and of course our wonderful hospitality partner community, because that's where our roots are based. And so you'll see lots of North Americans at this shindig in Boston, and it should be a great time. Our hospitality partner community is made up of several different sectors, from hotel individual properties to the chains like Starwood, Marriott, and Hilton, to destination management companies, convention and visitor bureaus, airlines, AV companies, speaker bureaus, entertainment companies, and meeting technology providers. Another big part of the hospitality partner community are our brokers, and for those of you who aren't familiar with that particular sector, those are like the CRISM groups, the Preferreds, the Leadings, the hotel rep companies that actually across those lines might represent multiple properties. Like CRISM might represent Fontainebleau, as well as Preferred, and some of these other changes. Bob, do you have anything to add to that might help clarify that a little bit more?
The brokers, yes, as you indicate, are those that have, I guess I would like to say, kind of like maybe in an insurance organization, that they're multi-line brokers, in the sense that they're working across different sectors and work in partnership with many independents and independent type organizations.
Right, and I remember, when I was a first-time attendee back in 2003, that was one of the things that was a little confusing for me. Was how do you go about, working with those broker organizations? And all I can really say is take your time to get to know the people that represent those companies. They're all very, very wonderful, and make your decision if you're going to pledge allegiance to one organization because that's who you feel most comfortable with in terms of a relationship standpoint, or if you're going to work with those organizations and you want to work with across multiple lines, that's certainly acceptable too. There's no right or wrong in that category when you're working with the brokers. I think it's just all an individual preference, and I know that can trip some people up sometimes. So if anybody has any questions from a planner perspective about how to proceed down the lines of those relationships, I'd be happy to speak to you about that, as would any of the other members of the board. So take a look at the ribbons that are on people's name badges. Those will identify the board members. They'll also identify staff. They'll identify hospitality partners, speakers, etc. So if you need to reach out to anybody on the board, you'll be able to find us quite easily. So that's kind of the makeup of FICP. What makes us unique in the industry is that we are very, very, very protective of our ratio. And by ratio, I mean anytime you come together at one of our events, whether it's a symposium, an educational platform, a conference, a summer meeting, any type of gathering, we really, really try to make sure that we maintain a nice ratio so planners aren't so overwhelmed with options in terms of developing relationships with our hospitality partners. And our hospitality partners have a real concentrated audience of planners to choose from or to get to know when they're networking in these different events. And we try to keep our ratio, I would say, on the low end from about 1.5 up to about as high as 1.8. For purposes of the Boston conference, I think we're right at a 1.6 ratio hospitality partner to planners. So it really, really makes for a nice networking environment. I think if any of you have experienced MPI or some of these other association meetings, you know, the ratio can be as high as 8 to 10 hospitality partners to one planner, and that doesn't always meet people's specific business needs, and we find that we really get a lot of work done at our conferences and our meetings and our regionals and our symposiums because we do protect that ratio so much. Bob, do you have anything to add to that from a hospitality partner perspective?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. From a hospitality partner perspective, one of the advantages I find from my continued involvement with FICP is that the environment does create that of being you know, more of a family or in more of an intimate organization where you can literally feel as though you can walk through, you know, a coffee break, you can walk through a cocktail reception, or even sit down at one of the business exchange meetings and feel comfortable and feel non-threatened by having the opportunity to sit and speak to someone who is a planner. Like Colleen, I have been in the organization many years, and I think they're probably some of the best opportunities I've had to meet and create relationships are that from sitting in a session and you're, you know, elbow to elbow with, you know, perhaps a meeting professional that you've wanted to meet, and you just, you know, happenstancely sit next to that person. So you have that camaraderie, and it's not an overwhelming sense of pressure, so to speak, for the planner community as well, because they're not one of 8 that's being sought after by, you know, 8 people. So I think that that's one of my favorite features and or benefits of being a member of FICP, and it's the ability to create the relationships and partnerships that an environment compact allows.
Great, thank you, Bob. Now, having said that, that really makes us unique. You know, if we jump forward and we take a look at the annual conference, I think I mentioned earlier that I remember my first annual conference very well. And while the ratio is very protected, it still can be a very intimidating and overwhelming experience. You're talking 250 planners, over 400 hospitality partners. You still got a big room of people, and represented from all over the world. We've got 19 countries that will be in Boston. 85% are from the United States. Over 25% are first-timers. These are really great numbers, but it can still be very overwhelming. And I remember thinking, gosh, this group just seems so cliquey, and I don't know how to break into the cliques. And it occurred to me after about the first day that it's really not cliquey, and what I learned to appreciate from that first experience was these are just people who've known each other for a long time. They've been coming to these meetings. They see each other multiple times per year, and they're living, breathing examples of this relationship environment and family environment that FICP has created over the years. So please, if you see groups of people standing together and laughing and talking and having a good time, you know, just walk right up to them and introduce yourself and try to be a part of the conversation as opposed to feeling like you can't get in, because this is a wonderful group of people, not only from the planner side, but our very, very warm and enveloping hospitality partner community. We'd love to talk to the first-timers. We'd love to take you under our wings and introduce you to people. So don't hesitate ever. Just jump right in and join the conversation, knowing that, again, it's not a clique. These are just people who've known each other for a long time, and those relationships exist. And so, step up to the plate there if you can. Bob, do you have anything to add to that? I know you were a first-timer once as well.
Yes, absolutely. We all were a first-timer. I echo what Colleen is saying, and I have to say the same thing. I mean, we've all been to cocktail parties or events where we don't know each other, and being shy sometimes is good, but sometimes it's good to just, as not to be intimidated. And if people are talking, walk up and stick out your hand and say, hey, I'm Bob and I'm new and I'd like to introduce myself to you. And 99.9% of the time people will do that. There are people that I've known in this industry for, gosh, I won't even say how many years I've been in this industry, but I mean, it's an opportunity to see people that you haven't seen in years, and sometimes it can, from the outside look, as though, oh, that's the clique. I can't break in and go over there. But do extend yourself, and the rewards will be worth it.
Yeah, and there's about 0 degrees of separation among this group. There's always somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows you, and so it's a great way. It's a great way to just sort of engage yourself by joining in on the conversation.
And I also have to chime in and also say that the environment is that there is your property across the street or your NSO across the way that's competing, or one way or another. We all share the same account base. But I've also found over the years that even your counterparts within different organizations are more than willing, if you're standing at a cocktail party or wherever you're standing and interacting with people, are more than willing to say, oh, excuse me, do you know so-and-so, and help to bridge that introduction and spread that connection.
Yeah, those competitive barriers really come down in this conference environment, and so I just encourage everybody to participate and engage, and I think the rewards will be felt almost immediately. So speaking of our conference, what will we be doing? We've got a lot of stuff going on. It's a very, very robust platform, and it's a very, very busy, full agenda from the education sessions that we have, ranging from technology solutions to meeting planner solutions to speaker showcases. There's something in there for everyone. I mean, I think we've got sessions on how to deal with unions. We've got sessions on contracting. We've got sessions on managing risk domestically and internationally. We've just got so many incredible breakout sessions. We always are very, very, very highly rated for our education opportunities. We know that for a lot of our planner members, it's a hard sell to get to the annual conference, and by creating and building a very robust educational platform, that's a tool that we give to you to help convince your managers that this is the right place for you to be at FICP and taking advantage of their education platform. We also have some wonderful things happening on our main platform. Jessica Holmes is going to be our MC for the event, and she is just amazing. If there's anybody who from Canada, you might be familiar with her. She does a lot of work in that area, but she's worked with us before, and she's just really, really great and a big supporter of FICP. We've got David Rich and Roger Stoltz doing facilitating a joint presentation from the platform on things that are happening in the industry based on surveys that they've conducted quite broadly, and then they've been able to narrow down a lot of their facts and their points to how it relates to the financial and insurance industry in particular, and then how it relates to the hospitality industry. Vikram Mancharamani is just a great speaker. I encourage everybody to be in the room when he does his economic outlook. Fascinating young man, and I think people will walk away with a lot of great information from that presentation. And then our closing keynote speaker on Wednesday morning will be Lisa Niemi Swayze, the widow of Patrick Swayze. She has an amazing story to tell about his whole struggle with cancer. It's not a downer. It's actually a very uplifting and motivating speak, and she tells it quite beautifully. And we think that she's going to be the next hot thing on the speaker circuit. So make sure that you guys are around for that closing keynote if you can make it. Some other things that we're going to be doing that are very specific to the planner members and the hospitality partners is our Planners Exchange and our Hospitality Partners Exchange. The Planners Exchange and the Hospitality Partners Exchange will both happen on Sunday prior to dinner, and I think it's from 4:15 to 6:15. And this is the time when the meeting, when the planners get together in their exchange, and we discuss our general association business. We cover some general election protocol. And then we typically have some type of a planner exchange, whether it's in a large group setting or if it's in smaller group settings at tables. We talk about different topics such as international destinations, domestic destinations that are hot new speakers, entertainment, production companies. We'll kind of run the gamut of what's happening out there, and we do a nice report back. Put some notes on a white sheet that we distribute at the conclusion of the meeting. At the same time, we're in our Planners Exchange. We have the Hospitality Partners Exchange going on, and I'll turn it over to Bob to kind of give an overview of what happens in the Hospitality Partners Exchange.
Well, we look forward to everyone coming to this event on Sunday evening, which is great. It's the first time that we've positioned it at this particular time in the structure of the conference, and it's been in various times throughout the conference over the years, and I think that I really feel that we're hitting the ball out of the park, or hitting pay dirt, and having it on the first night because it gets everyone the opportunity to get together and create those relationships and camaraderie before we go. But just to give an overall big picture view of what takes place at the Hospitality Partner Exchange, it might be just a small back step to an overview of who and what the Hospitality Partner Advisory Council is. We are a group of advisors to the Board of Directors. We come from different segments, so we have our opportunities to align with large chains, small chains, DMCs, Speakers Bureau. So as the membership is diverse, the HPAC is a diverse organization as well. With that being said, we as the Hospitality Partner Advisory Council, we are deployed to membership, marketing, communications, education, sponsorship committees, and we work with the board liaison and FICP staff. So our goal is to collectively and collaboratively partner with our board of directors, and we all create and work a plan of work. So it gives us, methodical opportunities that we need to work with and ideas throughout the year. So at this particular juncture, it gives us the opportunity to interact with our fellow H peers, get to know them and have them get to know who we are. So specifically for this year, as I say, we give an overview of what we've done, but specifically this year we're excited that we're going to be doing a reporting out of our successes, our year-to-date, and our action plans as it relates to a hospitality partner survey that we did a year or so ago. So we're really excited to be able to share that information. Also, we'll have a snippet and a tease of a My FICP online update with Nicole Lewis, who is on our on the FICP staff, just to kind of give an overview on where we are and what we've done with it, but certainly not to take away from the session that she's going to be doing on Tuesday or on Monday. We also solicit feedback. We open the floor up for questions, suggestions, just try to be there and exemplify the fact that we as an HPAC are in fact the voice of the hospitality partner community, and to demonstrate and show that we are working to to be partners with the board and help create the environment that we all love and work and look forward to enhancing as that of FICP. So we'll look forward to seeing all of you at that session on Sunday afternoon.
Thank you, Bob. Some of the other things that we'll be doing or that will be happening at the conference are largely based around our networking. And so from that perspective, we'll start off Sunday with our first-time attendee meeting, which I hope all of you plan to be there. We've got a real fun activity planned for the group in a way that we'll get to know each other a little bit better. And Bob and I will spend some time with the first-time attendees going a little bit deeper on some of the expectations, some protocol, and some of the little helpful tips that we've kind of given you in terms of, getting to know people a little bit better. And Bob will dig in a little bit deeper on the hospitality partner side on some of the expectations, where you should really set your bar your first time into this conference. And so we'll walk through that, and then we'll do kind of a fun little get-together. Then we'll go into our planners exchange, and then from the planners exchange, we'll go into our first evening event. We've got some fantastic evening events planned for this conference. Sunday night we'll be going over to the Marriott, and we'll be enjoying their generous hospitality. That'll be a quick little walk through I think a connecting mall. And then Monday night we'll be going off-site to the Stateroom, which is a wonderful venue in Boston at the top of one of the financial buildings. I think people are going to love it there. And then we have our 80s-inspired evening on the final night. And hopefully you've all looked at your pack and ready to go email that you received, and you have all of the information that you need for that event. We also have our Network Live. And this is kind of our, for lack of better words, our market fair. For those of us who have been coming to the annual conference for a long time, this is usually a hot button topic, and it's a 3-hour segment on the agenda for the annual conference that we are just committed to getting right, and we think this year we may have finally gotten it right. We have been getting feedback from people over the last several years that they'd like to go to an appointment-based process for our network, and this is where our hospitality partners would all have a table, and planners will make appointments to visit with the hospitality partners in 15-minute increments during this 3-hour period. Now we know that this is a business opportunity for everybody, for the planners and the hospitality partners. It's also a networking opportunity. So there will be planners who just won't take advantage of this opportunity to make appointments. They're more comfortable roaming the floor and looking for open tables for people to do business with. There are other planners who are a lot more type A and methodical and want to make sure that they're going to utilize every second of their time during this 3-hour time frame to network with their hospitality partners. So between the 250 planners are there and the 380 tables that will have hospitality partners at them, we feel pretty confident. I would say actually very confident that this is going to be a pretty robust business opportunity for all folks involved. The tool for booking appointments is scheduled to go out this week. We encourage all of the planners to go online and book appointments with the hospitality partners that they want to spend time with during this period. Again, you don't have to book back-to-back. You'll want to leave some opportunities open just to walk the floor and to meet with people a little bit more spontaneously. But we encourage people to make as many appointments as they possibly can so we can make sure that this is a valuable period of time for our hospitality partners as well. Bob, do you have anything to add to that?
Yes, I do. As Colleen says, the network, as we're referring to it now, Network Live, has always been that, kind of like the Achilles heel, and when is the right time to do it, and where is the right timing, and so on and so forth. And so we're excited that this time frame is where we're putting it on Monday morning, where there's we've had the opportunity of networking and meeting the people that you want to see, and you created that old home week, so to speak, and reaching out and making new friends on Sunday evening. We're optimistic, as Colleen said, that people will take advantage of this and use it as a business time frame. This appointment tool base is a bold initiative. We're very cognizant of that. Yet it's also a direct reflection of wishes, wants, and desires from our memberships, both hospitality partners and meeting planners, in the sense that we need to create a structured environment for some bona fide ROI. So we're hopeful that that will happen, and everyone will have great appointments. I would suggest to the hospitality community that if you don't have appointments, please don't be disheartened. As we say, the ratio and the numbers will warrant networking and opportunities. That the environment will be set up so that if you are in an appointment, you'll have the opportunity, kind of like a fogo de chao. It's like no more meat. You're in a meeting, or if you're if you're open for an appointment, so the planners who may not have taken the opportunity will see that this table and this person is available to speak. So hopefully we're catching all elements of the opportunities here. I would suggest, to travel light. This is right after breakfast and then rolling into lunch. So our suggestion would be, minimal at best for your tables. If your iPads, your tablets, make sure you're charged. There's no electricity. Business cards are key. Make sure you have plenty of business cards to exchange. Some people might not really appreciate me saying this, but I think that a mildly aggressive salesperson would take advantage of the pre-registration list. And I certainly am not suggesting that you do a mass email. I would certainly suggest not to do mass emails, but go through the pre-reg list, and if there's a person or two or three that you're extremely interested in meeting, send them an email and say, hey, I'm new. I'm going to be experiencing the network live. It would be great to schedule an appointment with you. You may get the appointment, you may not, but at least you've started a communication and a chain of connection that will hopefully connect one way or the other over the course of 3 days, or certainly as you get home and follow up. So that's our anticipation and our hope, our wish, and our desire for a very successful Network Live. Monday morning, don't miss it.
Right. So what we're going to be in, we're going to be in a large convention hall that's directly connected to the Sheraton Hotel. So about 1/3 of the room will be set up for breakfast on Monday morning, and then the other 2/3 of the room will be set up for the network. And so it's going to be a series of rows of tables with 2 chairs, one for the hospitality partner and one for the planner. There will be a stanchion on every single table, like Bob mentioned, where it will say meeting in progress or open for a meeting. Hospitality partners will have little signs that they can flip, sort of like taxi cabs or fogo de chao, to let people know that you are available. So we really, really encourage people to take advantage of the tool when it comes out. If you notice on your screen, there's a small little sample of what the tool looks like once you book all of your appointments. So you can kind of see what your printout might look like. When you do go in to make your appointments, everything is listed alphabetically by hospitality partner company. I don't know, maybe Lydia could, or Nicole could, or Katie could clarify at the end of the call how you're going to be able to search for those, whether it's alphabetically by hospitality partner name or hospitality partner company. I apologize, I forgot to get some clarification around that. But when you do click on, say you click on Sheraton Boston, you will see who the rep is for Sheraton Boston. That's at additional contact information. So it'll be a pretty robust tool for searching and deciding who you want to meet with during that 3-hour period. Again, the appointments are in 15-minute increments. We have allowed 0 time for transfers, so you may want to go every other 15 minutes when you do your appointment booking. And that's all I have about the network. We can go to the next So the next groovy thing that we do, and hopefully everybody got their silent auction, electronic silent auction online bid form, but we do a great big huge fundraising event for Junior Achievement. FICP aligned themselves with Junior Achievement 2 years ago. Prior to that, every maybe regional and summer educational and annual conference that we had, we really left it up to the design teams to decide who was going to be the benefactor of our silent auction in each one of the locations that we were in. And it actually just kind of got to be a lot of work trying to figure out and filter through all of the wonderful charitable organizations that are out there who is going to be the benefactor of the money that we raise. And we raise a lot of money. I want to say last year at our silent auction we raised upwards of $60,000. So it's no small chunk of change that we're handing out to somebody. So the board and the HPAC did a lot of collaborative work starting 3 years ago to decide who we could align ourselves with in the industry that had similar hopes and dreams for their organization as FICP does. And really what FICP's main goal is to provide a platform for planners and hospitality partners to engage not only in networking but in educational opportunities that make them better at their jobs. And one of the reasons why we settled on Junior Achievement to align ourselves with is because their philosophy is very similar to ours, only they deal with children. And their main goal is to provide youth with the tools and resources that they need to be successful professionals. And so it was a great pairing between the two organizations. So when we're in Boston, we'll be doing their fundraising, and the proceeds will go to Junior Achievement of Northern New England. And they will be on site to accept the check once the silent auction closes. So I encourage all of you to go out and take a look at the items that are for bid on this online at the silent auction website and bid away. Bob, do you have anything to add to that?
It's an awesome organization, and I had privy earlier this week to kind of preview the silent auction items, and pretty awesome packages and trips and
our hospitality
so on and so forth
partner.
That you know that are at significant great values, and at the end of the day you're supporting an organization such as Junior Achievement who has that ongoing philosophy of working and bringing the youth of today to our business world tomorrow. So it's a great organization, and it's a great silent auction packages.
They really are. Thank you so much. And our hospitality partner community does a fantastic job of coming to the table with some pretty impressive packages. I mean, I remember a friend of mine 2 years ago walked away with 8 days, 7 nights in Tahiti for like a really obnoxiously low price. But it all went to a good cause, so bid away. Some other things that we are going to be able to take advantage of at the annual conference. Hopefully, each of the people that are on the call today as first-timers, you've engaged in our ambassador program and you've been assigned a mentor, and you've engaged with that person. If not, I would encourage you to start that dialogue and to make that connection, that will really, really, really help you to have familiarization with your ambassador when you're on site at the conference. Again, earlier I mentioned that our board of directors, hospitality partners, and annual conference design team and staff will all have ribbons on our badges. If you have any questions at all, need to reach out or have a private conversation about anything during the conference, come find one of us. Again, please mark your calendars for the first-time attendee meeting from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock on Sunday. As Bob mentioned, for hospitality partners, please tap into that attendee list if there's people that you want to engage with. Again, we don't certainly condone blast emails, but target marketing, absolutely. Reach out to those people you know you need to meet with. Also, one of the things that's very, very, very popular with our FICP planner members and hospitality partners is our photo directory. We will have a photo booth set up outside the registration area in the pre-function outside the room, and we encourage you to get your photos taken so you can participate in the directory. And the basics. We've got One of the key things is our airport transfers. So if you're going to need transportation, please make sure that you go online and you request the transportation no later than Sunday, November 10th. Remember that it's business casual dress throughout, with the exception of our 80s attire for Tuesday evening. There are some great websites you can go out to online and order 80s outfits from. I mean, they're actually kind of hideous, but it is fun. Don't forget your business cards. Don't forget to review your Pack Your Bags email. And I think the mobile app will be available very shortly. Lydia can update the group on that. And
yes,
with that, Lydia, I'll turn it back over to you.
Sorry about that. You should be seeing your Pack Your Bags email coming through later this week, and that'll have the information to access the mobile app through there.
Great.
So with that, we can open things up for questions. I know we've gotten a couple through the system so far, so let me just pull these up and see what we've gotten. Okay. First question, what time does the first meeting start on Sunday? I think we saw in that follow-up slide that we've got the first-timers orientation happening from 3 to 4, but I'm going to let my colleague Katie Walsh just kind of give a little indicator of, or just give a little bit of information about what's happening Sunday first thing.
Yeah, so on Sunday, the conference kicks off with registration opening at noon. So if you get into Boston earlier in the day, feel free to stop by and pick up your badge, and then you can also, as Colleen mentioned, go get your picture taken for the photo directory at that time. And then, yeah, the first actual function that we have is the first time attendee meeting, and that doesn't start until 3 o'clock. So after that, that's when the exchanges start. So then we have the exchanges from 4:15 to 6:15, and then we end the day with the evening event at the Marriott.
Great. A couple of questions around the appointment tool. When does the appointment tool go live?
Yes. So the appointment tool emails are going to be distributed out to everybody. I'm really hoping that they will be sent out by end of day today. There's a little glitch with the system right now that we're working through with the vendor. So I'm staying on top of them and hope to have those emails distributed today.
Okay. Question around how can hotels stimulate planners to book the one-on-one appointments? Colleen, I don't know if from your perspective, if you've got anything to share of, what would help make the difference?
Just do a little bit of target marketing. Go out, take a look at the list, find 10 planners that you'd like to reach out to, 15 planners, and just send them a note and say, I would love to get together with you. Go out and check out the planner profiles on the network if you're unsure some of the places that the planners are doing business. I think that would be helpful. Other than that, we will find you. If we've got business to do with you, we will find you.
Sounds good. There's a couple of questions around, that contact list that I know Bob mentioned a couple of times. Do hospitality partners have access to the buyer's emails?
So on the attendee list that we post to our website, it does only list name and company. But if you log into the FICP website and go, do an individual search or go into the network and pull the full list from the network, you will be able to access email addresses and phone numbers through that route.
Well, that is all of the questions that I've seen come in. Give folks just one more minute to write anything in if you've got something. Otherwise, Colleen or Bob, final thoughts?
No, just looking forward to seeing everybody in Boston. It's going to be a fabulous meeting. We are super excited, and we're so happy to have everybody there.
My comment is, yeah, I think, FICP, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And, a wise person told me that many years ago that, the relationships that you build are cultivated over time and through communications, and it does take time to develop relationships, but they're relationships that will last you a lifetime. There are people that I remember meeting at my very first FICP conference. Actually, it was ICPA, so that's a little dating of my history and background. But many of those people I've known, and interestingly enough, they've now retired. So they're people that you will meet and will last a lifetime. So give it your all, and it's an awesome process and a great organization. So we're all here for you. The Hospitality Partner Advisory Council, as we mentioned, will be around. If we have any questions, please reach out to us, as well as the planner community staff. So we thank you for your investment in coming, and we trust that it will be an ongoing return on investment moving forward.
That's great,
So
Bob.
we'll
I
see you
love
all in
that. I
Boston.
love that quote.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
You know, we did have another question around how do we sign up for the optional Heinz Convention Center tour?
Yeah, so we do have the Heinz Convention Center, which is actually connected to the Sheraton. So please note, when you guys are going over to the Heinz for breakfast and the network on Monday morning, you don't need to bring a jacket or anything, because you can get into the Heinz directly from the Sheraton. And then I just lost my train of thought. What were we talking about? Oh, the optional tour. Okay, yeah. So we do have an optional tour on Sunday scheduled for 1 o'clock, and then also Wednesday at 11:30. So if that is something that you're interested in and you didn't mark it in your registration, that's completely fine. We will have a couple sales contacts from the center meeting anybody who's interested in going on the tour at the registration desk. So just show up at the registration desk at Wednesday at 11:30 or on Sunday at 1 o'clock, and then we can get you off on the tour. And then the registration desk is located in the foyer area of the Grand Ballroom, which is on the 2nd floor at the Sheraton.
All right. Well, with that, thank you to each of you for participating in this First Timers webinar. I hope the information was helpful. We really appreciate Colleen and Bob for sharing their insights, and of course everyone online for attending. This session was recorded. We're going to be putting the PDF of the slides with that recording up on our FIC website, so you'll be getting information on how you can access that in case you need a refresher on info. But thanks again for attending, and we will see you in Boston. Take care.